Hello, everybody. Today is a continuation of the last lecture. Today is part 2 of Stoichiometry. And in this part, we like to calculate the mass calculation. I have ammonium sulfate combined with sodium hydroxide becomes sodium sulfate plus ammonia plus water. The question is, I have 15.4 grams of ammonium sulfate. How many grams of sodium hydroxide will react with this much mass? So this is mass calculation. What you need to do is go to the periodic table, find the atomic mass for all the elements here, find the atomic mass. So let's do that. How many nitrogen I have here? 2 nitrogen. Each nitrogen atom, the atomic mass is 14.01. So let's consider the nitrogen. I have 2 nitrogen here, 2 nitrogen, so 2 times 14.1, and this is 2 nitrogen. Each nitrogen, the atomic mass is 14.01, so 2 nitrogen, that's my mass for 2N. So similarly, I want to find H. 2 times 4 is 8. I have 8H. What is the atomic mass of hydrogen? 1.01. Therefore, I have 8.08. The next, I have 1 sulfur. Sulfur is 1. So 1 times, what's the atomic mass of sulfur? 32.07. So this is 32.07. And the next is oxygen. I have 4 oxygen. So oxygen here, I have 4 oxygen. What's the atomic mass of oxygen? Is 16. So this is equal to 64. So for this whole thing, what's the mass? You add these 4 numbers. So the result is 132.17. Now, once I have this number, I want to put this number below this. So I erase this. I like to put this number below the below the 15 decimal form. Now, the next is to find the mass of sodium hydroxide. So I have 2 sodium, so I consider sodium. I have 2 sodium. What's the atomic mass of sodium? 22.99. So I multiply 2, I get okay. Sodium, I have 2 sodium, 2 times the atomic mass of sodium, I get this number. And the next I want to consider oxygen. I have only 2 oxygens. Oxygen, I have 2 oxygen. We know that oxygen is 16, so it's 32. And then I have 2 hydrogen. 2 hydrogen. Hydrogen is 1.01, therefore this is 2.02. So now I add everything. The result is, it just happened, it's exactly 80. So this is 80. So just like what we did here, I want this number 80 to put it down here below the x. Now I don't want this, just to avoid any this is not needed because I have 80 here. So then what's the next step? I don't want the units to avoid confusion. I don't want units. With the understanding we are doing math. We are doing mass calculation, so everything is in grams. So I can take away the gram to make it look simpler. Then you divide, put equal here. That is how you find x. You know very well how to find x. Like what I said in the last lesson, don't do cross multiply. It's so easy. You don't need cross multiply. Put the 80 here. Move the 80 to this place, and you just multiply. So this becomes 1, you see? So you don't need the fraction line. X is just this number multiply 80, divide by this number, okay? Of course, if you do cross multiply, it's still all right. What I'm saying is that you don't need cross multiply. Just move the denominator to the numerator on the other side and use a calculator. Find this, then x is when you use the calculator, enter this number, enter multiply, enter this number, enter divide, enter this number, press equal sign, you get this number. And you can round it, right? You round it to, say, 2 decimal place, So you run it like that. So this part you can take away. So it's 9.32. What is the unit? Gram. Because we are talking about grams. X is that many grams. So remember, in the last lecture, we are talking about mole calculation. So everything is in moles. But now we are talking about grams. Everything is in grams. Therefore, you only need to find, for this compound, what is the mass in grams. For this compound, what is the mass in what is the mass in grams? That is 80. Do a ratio. Use your calculator. You get the answer very, very quickly. Sometimes the textbook starts with moles. So this is 1 mole here. This is 2 mole here. You use moles to calculate, and then after you have the answer in moles, you convert it to gram. In my opinion, you don't need to do that. You can start with gram right away and get the answer in gram. You do not need to go through mole and then convert to gram. Well, that's my opinion, okay? If you do that way, go to mole and then go to gram, of course it's all right. All right, the next example. Zinc plus sulfur becomes zinc sulfide. Okay. What is given and what do we want to find? I have 32 grams of sulfur. So I just do not write down the unit. With the understanding the unit is gram. I have 32 grams of sulfur. How many grams of the product we can get? How many grams of zinc sulfide I can get? X. Of course, with the understanding that we have enough zinc to react with 32 grams of sulfur. This is enough zinc, okay? So we do not need to consider that. Like what we did in the first example, find the atomic number from the periodic table. What is the atomic, not atomic number, sorry, atomic mass. What is the atomic mass of sulfur? I have 8 sulfur. So I consider sulfur now. I have 8 times sulfur is 3207. So this is 256.56. Okay. So this is simple, just this, 8 times this. So I put this number below 32. All right. Now I want the atomic mass of zinc sulfide. I have 8 zinc. 8 zinc 8 zinc. So I consider zinc. I have 8 zinc. Zinc is 65.39. I have so zinc, the atomic mass of zinc is this number. But I have 8 zinc, so multiply 8, I get this number. Sulfur. Now I consider sulfur. I have 8 sulfur. 8 sulfur. We already did this, you see? This is 8 sulfur. 8 sulfur is this much. So it's 2, 5, 6, 5, 6. For sulfur, it is sulfur, 8 sulfur. Here is 8 sulfur. So the result is this number. The result is this number. Now you want the total of this. You add, and the result is this number, 779.68. Now you put this number below x. Okay. Let's erase everything else just to avoid any confusion. So erase everything else. So we have this, right? Just like example 1, divide equal, move this denominator to the numerator and multiply. So 779.68. So you move it to this place. So move it. Now x is equal to 32 times this number, divide by this, and press equal sign, you get x. X is okay, this is the result of x. So x is 97 decimal, that many decimal numbers. So you can round it up, okay? You can round it up and you change it 4 to 5. And that is the result. If you have 32 grams of sulfur, no, yes, you have 32 grams of sulfur. How many grams of the product you can produce? You can produce zinc sulfide 97.25 grams. So again, this is mass calculation. Everything is in gram. Okay. One more example. Hydrochloric acid. reacts with manganese oxide and produces manganese chloride plus chlorine plus water. What is the question? The question is, let's see. I have that many hydrochloric acid, that many 0.0476, that's gram. Everything is in gram. If I have that many grams of hydrochloric acid, how many grams of chlorine I can produce? So this is X gram. I don't know how many grams. All right. This is what is given. This is what we want to find. And then find the atomic mass for this, put it here. Find the atomic mass for this, put it here. Do the ratio and equal and find X. So let's do that. HCl. So I have H, but I have 4H. So 4 times 1.01. That is 4.04. How about chlorine? I have 4 chlorine. Each chlorine, the mass is 35.45. So this is equal to this is hydrochloric acid. So this. So I add, and the answer is okay, this is the answer. And how about chlorine? I have 2 chlorine, yeah? Chlorine is 2 chlorine, and the chlorine is 35.45. So what is the result? The result is 2 times that, which is 70.9. So I have the mass for hydrochloric acid, and I also have the mass for the chlorine gas here. Now I put the number below this, put this number below this. Put this number, 70.9, below the X. Okay. Now it's simple. Divide, equal, move this denominator to the numerator and multiply. Get your calculator and do this calculation. X is the calculator gives this answer. You can round it if you want to. Okay. You get that many grams for the chlorine gas. So, today we talked about calculation in terms of mass, how many grams. And I commented that because you want mass calculation, you can start with atomic mass right away. You do not need to go through moles. So that is what we are talking about today. Now, suppose your question has one compound in moles, another compound in gram. Suppose you have a mixture of moles and gram. So how do we do that? That will be our next lesson. I hope you follow today's lesson. Goodbye and see you next time.